welcome to our second episode of Perfect Partnership TV.
Absolutely. It's great to have you all here with us tonight, and well, we've got
an interesting,
a very interesting episode, yeah. So what's on the show today, Matt?
So today you are going to see a little bit of a follow-on from last week, where we were talking about things that you could do with your horse and connecting with your horse. So you're going to see some of us actually out there on the yard doing a few little bits with the horses.
Yeah.
Following on from some of the stuff that we were suggesting, and just put a couple of suggestions together there with the horses for you to maybe do. And
so these are bits and pieces now that people, kind of like you say, following on from last week, what they can actually be doing and something you can actually show them now, actually out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can actually physically get out there and do. And they're small bits, one step at a time, and take your time with these things. And then there's a rather different and exciting part.
Yeah, absolutely. I get to ride.
Yeah, we got.
Because I struggle with my confidence at times, but I decided to throw caution to the wind this week and get on the pony and ride.
And that he did.
Yes, I did.
So we'll be showing you that a little bit later on.
But first, I guess it's time to show them some bits and pieces that you've been up to this week.
There is, yeah.
Okay. So let's take a look at it.
Hi everybody. So carrying on from what we were discussing last week about spending some time with your horse, and spending that time just bonding with them, being in the stable and being aware of them. It's a perfect opportunity to spend some time grooming your horse, but rather than it being from a point of view of I must get you clean so I can ride you, it actually just being mutually beneficial that your horse gets to enjoy you touching them and grooming them, a bit like a massage, and you get to actually really feel the energy from your horse, where there might be tension mentally or physically about where you can touch. Can you bring your hands under their belly and all the way up and under and then be happy about it? Can you not? And it's these things that will just tell you a little bit more about your horse. So this is a great time for you to just get stuck in there and get to know your horse on a much deeper level. So a minute ago I mentioned about, can you put your hand under your horse's tummy? Can you touch up underneath where the sheath are or where their teats are if they're a mare? Can you come up around their ears? Hello, sweetie. Can you do all these things and your horse be totally happy and accepting with it? And there is a difference between your horse just standing still and putting up with you doing it, and your horse completely accepting it and being happy with it. And that's a real one for you to really get to know your horse, to work that out. Your horse gives you signs all the time as to whether they're happy with something or whether they're not. And what we tend to do as humans is, if the horse doesn't respond or they don't react, we assume they're okay with it, which can land us in a lot of trouble, because it's what I call the horse playing dead, and it's their natural safety mechanism that if they are in a situation in the wild, they can play dead in the hope that their attacker will stop, and when they get a moment to run to safety, they'll give it a go. And this is what I see time and time again with horses that are being handled and doing stuff on a daily basis, and suddenly it all goes wrong, because we haven't noticed the signs of the horse showing us that they're not happy with something or that they are. So lots of blinking and licking and chewing. It's a release. It's a change in where their mind is. It's an acceptance. So showing these signs is the horse communicating with you that they're happy about what you're doing or they understand it. If your horse is stood very rigid and their eyes a bit out and stalks, ears back or ears pricked forwards, and they're like a rock, that is a horse that's saying, what the hell are you doing? Please stop it. So having this time to be able to groom your horse and notice, be aware, does my horse allow me to touch their ear? Does my horse allow me to run my hand around their mouth? If they don't, it doesn't mean you've got to make them do it. It means we've got to work out why. Now, sometimes it'll be because, I don't know, they've had an issue with their ear in the past. And this is a big one that we get into, or my horse was ear twitch, so it doesn't like me touching their ear. But unless you're the person that's ear twitched that horse and done it on a regular basis, then that isn't the reason. That might be something going on in the horse's mind, but what will be happening is you're aware that the horse had that twitch put on at some point, and therefore it's in your mind as you approach the ear. So you won't be approaching that horse with a very clear mind and with just an intention of just stroking your ear. So your horse will pick up on that. Whether you are aware that it's in your mind or not, it will be there. So in situations like that, it's about building up the trust from your horse to allow you to touch their ear and know that they're safe. Because we've got to be able to access all areas. In any situation, it could be any form of emergency. We might need to treat them and all sorts. So they've got to be able to accept us doing that. And for us to have a really fulfilling relationship with our horse, we want ultimate trust, which means we can access all areas. Well, hopefully as you could see and maybe pick up some different bits on that, whereas with Lexi just grooming her and being aware of her, and that was where I sort of was saying to everybody last week about being aware, being with your horse and getting to know your horse, really getting to know your horse, rather than being in this place of trying to stop them showing how they're feeling and how they're responding all the time. You know, with having that expectation and avoiding things like, can you touch your horse under the belly? Because there could be multiple reasons why maybe you can't. And the majority of people then avoid that. Yeah. Because it can be a challenge.
So many people do that, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And where does that come from? Is that coming from fear, or maybe that they're just not getting to spend the time with the horses in that way that you've talked about today, where they really get to know the horse?
I think there's various different takes on that, and I think that sometimes it'll be because the human is scared, so they back off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it's because we believe we're coming from a place that, well, my horse isn't like that, I'm not going to make them do something they don't like. And I get that, because I'm not going to insist that my horse gets on and does something they really don't enjoy. So for instance, if your horse really doesn't enjoy jumping, we're not going to insist they do it. But
you're just going to tell them to do it.
But I think there's some things that it's necessary that we're able to get an understanding with the horse. So they might not like their belly being touched.
Well, a lot of horses don't, do they?
No, the horse has got sensitive areas. They're very protective of it. So if a horse doesn't like a certain area being touched, the ultimate thing is they're being very protective of themselves. So ultimately, that means there's a lack of trust.
Right.
And what we do is we get into this thinking of, well, the horse doesn't trust us. So there's ultimately a trust issue, okay? And so the horse is...
From the horse to the human, or the human to the horse? What?
Well, from the horse to the human, and often then that becomes a human to the horse scenario. And if the horse is being that protective over an area of themselves, it's kind of their natural instinct still kicking in. So but what we do is we put a human perspective on it, and then we avoid those areas. So we end up, without meaning to, we end up creating the horse's natural instinct to be their protection and their escape area. So, and that obviously filters on into the ridden work. So if a horse becomes worried about something when you're out and about, if in the stable you allow their natural flight instinct or get off me instinct to be the get out of danger scenario, the same thing's going to happen when we're ridden.
And ultimately we're looking for leadership. The horse is going to feel it's most secure in a place where it has that leadership.
Very much so. And I think there's such a difference. I hear, and I was taught this when I first got into horses,
Way back then.
I know, it was quite a lot of years ago. But I was taught, be the boss, make sure you're in charge. And that comes with its own problems because of how we perceive that. So it's like when you're working somewhere, if you're working with a team and your boss is actually a good leader, and they don't sit there telling you what you must do and you mustn't do, but they show you, they work with you, this is the way we need to do things, everything's all right, we're going to... You have respect and trust in that person. But if somebody just sits there saying, do this, pack it in, don't do that, for me personally, I certainly wouldn't work with that person. And so why would our horse?
Well, exactly. And I find this when I'm doing communications.
Yeah, absolutely.
It all comes down to leadership. There's so much we can achieve when we get in the right place and let go of the overthinking. So I guess it makes sense. All of this, what you just showed us, and I know what you're going to show us in the next video clips, all about creating that positive leadership. It's all a start. It's all like stepping stones, isn't it?
It is. And so when you're with a client and their horse, what would you say then is the number one thing that comes from your horse, and what kind of indications do you get from the people before you even start working with the horse?
It's always about leadership from the horse. The leadership's not there, so the horse isn't feeling at all secure in the situation a lot of the time. So if I've come out because there's some problems with the horse, or perceived problems with the horse where it's got some behavioural issues going on, it seems a lot of the time that it's blaming the horse. It's like, that's the horse has been found guilty, that's the horse's problem, can you help me sort this and find out what's going on? And of course, when I work with the horse on a communication level, I get to show the humans that actually this isn't how you perceived it at all. That's all in your head. Yes, the horse is showing something, obviously, clearly, tangibly, it's showing something.
Yeah.
But when you get into the horse, when we get into the situation with the communication, it's all about leadership. And they just want to feel secure. Absolutely. They just want to feel secure.
Because, of course, when you become a horse's human and you're taking that horse away to do stuff with you, away from the field friends or the stable mates, you become that herd. And there's two of you in that herd.
And that makes sense. I get that.
So
I really understand that, yeah.
One of you's got to be the leader.
Yeah.
And is it going to be you, or is it going to be your horse? And that isn't coming from a who's going to be in charge. Yes, the leader is in charge, but not from that boss perspective of, do what I say, I'm to be respected. Because all of those sort of attitudes...
It's bullying.
Well, it is. It's bullying, and it comes from the person having a lack of confidence, a lack of self-worth.
There you go.
All
the issues that we encounter as human beings, each and every one of us, all comes into play in that situation.
Absolutely.
But it does take us away from creating that perfect partnership.
Massively.
So, in the next clip, Matt, we've got some really interesting stuff that you're doing.
Got a few little bits for you to work on that will just help you start to build that relationship, that trust of leadership. In a very subtle way, but my goodness, your horse will really understand it and will start to have a little bit clearer understanding that you are able to take control in a way that means they don't have to worry about being in control because they're safe with you.
Yeah. And of course, she's a great horse to work with. It's your Lexi.
Yes.
You've had her from a baby. You've got a great connection with her. I know in another episode you're going to show everybody working with a horse that you don't know as well. You haven't had that length of time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be different. It's going to be really interesting to see the difference.
I'm going to show you guys me working with a horse that I know, as in they're here at the centre and they've been working in the centre. But not that I've had the opportunity to spend that time doing this work. So hopefully that will show you where maybe some of you are at with your horse, because I can well imagine some of you watching that going, there's no way on this given earth I can do that with my horse. So we'll show you that, but this is to show you a nice easy, this is how it should be looking, this is the direction you want it to be.
Before all of that, there's something you should know. Off to the arena! You must go. Away with you now, away with you. Come on.
Hi everyone, so here I've got Lexi, who is 7 years old, and I bred Lexi, so although she's 7, she's done very little really, and apart from quite a lot of groundwork. And so what I wanted to talk with you a little bit about is some more stuff that you can do during this period of time. Currently we're on lockdown, but generally if you've got a lack of time, to make that time really mean something when you're with your horse, to actually help educate and help your horse for the world that we put them into. So we can't escape the fact that a horse naturally is out in the wild, they're not with humans, they're not doing the things that we're asking them to do. So we're going to accept we ask them to do these things. And because of that, we have to do the best that we can by them to help them to understand and feel safe and secure in our environment. And so one of the things I wanted to discuss today was the word desensitizing, that I hear ever such a lot of. And for me, it's kind of the wrong way of understanding the things that you probably see a lot of people doing when you see a lot of the demonstrations. It isn't about desensitizing and switching off your horse. No. It's about teaching our horse how to control themselves, their own emotions, and know where the safe place is. And for us, obviously, we want their safe place to be stop, stay still, and listen to me, not run away and panic, which is obviously the horse's natural instinct to get to safety is to run. And our natural instinct as a human is to scream like a banshee and grab hold and do everything that sets off our horse's natural instinct. So we have to become a real leader with real clarity in our mind about what we're showing our horse and how we do that. We want our horse to be able to make decisions to decide to stay and not run, and to look to us for the answer in a situation that's worrying them. So desensitizing them really means switching them off to something, and that is far from what I want my horse to be, is switched off. I want them to be in control, away from panic and away from stress. So horses are animals of habit, they're creatures of habit, and if something is the same all the time, then it becomes safe. So for instance, if a horse was brought up on a farm around pigs and cattle and tractors, that would be normal for them. Okay, so they wouldn't be panicking about it if that was their everyday normal situation. If they're brought up in big open spaces with lots of traffic and stuff around, then that becomes normal to them, so that isn't frightening. If they've been brought up on a small yard with not a lot going on, then that's their normal. If you mix those horses round into the new environments, the likelihood is you're going to see a very different horse. If a horse has only been used to certain things all the way along, then when that changes, not just the handler, but the surroundings and the situation they're in, unless that horse has learnt to be confident in themselves, to trust the leadership of the human, then you are going to see behavioural changes. Some will settle down really quickly, some won't. So that's why it's not about desensitizing, it's about showing the horse different situations, different things, how to control themselves in that situation. It's not about going to a show 20 times so they get used to it. It's about exposing the horse's desire to run away and showing them how to turn that around and stay and wait with us. So Lexi is naturally quite a laid back, almost switched off type of horse. When she was born at 2 days old, she lay in the paddock sleeping, and the herd of 3 mares and foals all galloped off, hightailing and snorting, and she didn't even get up. Which said to me at that point, I've got one heck of a laid back horse here who is either lacking natural instincts or just feels very happy and confident in the world. And she does feel happy and confident in the world, but because I know her, I know when she's not. And so many of my friends and people that I know and know Lexi assume that I could literally just go and do anything with her at any time and she wouldn't have a problem with it. But I know the situations that that she asks me questions. And so yes, she would never give me problems, so to speak, but there are situations where she'll ask me what she needs to do. And so the more I push those in the arena, in the safe environment of the arena, the more she learns to trust me. So when I get on take her on a lorry somewhere new, she looks to me for her cues of what she's supposed to do. How many of you can actually stand in the arena with your horse just waiting, feeling completely safe, totally relaxed and not looking for anything else to do? She's very close to me, but she's not in my space. If I ask her to move away from my space, she will go and she'll wait there. And she'll respect that. If she comes back in, I'll simply ask her to stay over there. It's not about being aggressive or attacking, but it is about being assertive and noticing your horse's body language. And Lexi's pretty chilled out this evening. I want to be able to, if I've got no intention, I want to be able to walk around my horse. Now you see, she's assuming, bless her, what I want her to do, and she's keeping herself to me. So, what I'm going to do now, if she's going to walk off, is I'm just going to keep with her bum. Good girl. Because actually I want her to just stand and wait for me. So she's thinking ahead already, which is great. She wants to give me something, but actually she didn't wait and listen for what I wanted. She assumed. Okay, so I just make sure that I've got to the point where actually I'm stood here and she's waiting. Now if I want to move her bottom over, I'm going to just ask her nose to me, touch her. When she turns the bottom away and that hind leg comes underneath her body, not behind it, but when she steps underneath, I'll take that question away, okay? The reason for that is because as your horse comes under with the hind leg, they're disengaging themselves from a flight off running instinct, but ability as well. You're turning the horse, putting themselves in that situation of kind of being vulnerable but submissive, but it's not being done from a point of view of being threatening or I'm the boss. It's about I can control your feet, I'll move your feet, you don't even have to worry about that, let me have control of that. So I want to come back up again, and this time she's waiting for me. So, but I can do it from here, I can send her bottom away, and I wait till that, as soon as that leg crosses under, I'll stop and wait. And what this will do is this will start to simply build up an understanding of, I make sure she waits, I wait till she's waiting. I don't just go, oh great, she did it, it's fantastic, didn't have to ask. I make sure we stop and wait. Then I bring my energy up to ask the question. I send a little bit of energy, she goes, I drop the energy away. And then my intention drops. And then she's just looking to me saying, yeah, did I do that right? So what we're starting to get, if you've got a horse that doesn't understand this work or doesn't understand to move away when you ask, to allow you to have control. This is a really simple exercise that you can be doing 5-10 minutes a day. You can do this in the stable just to start connecting their mind to your mind and your intention. It also helps you to make sure you clear your mind of your intention, because if she knows what my intention is, then she's going to offer that to me. So I have to come with no intention. All right? And sometimes, if she thinks that's what I'm going to do, I'll do something else. So instead of asking for that, I'm going to ask her to move the front end away. Good girl. And she loves putting herself nice and straight back to me, which is great. So I'm going to ask her again just to move the front end away, a little bit of pressure on the nose, a touch on the shoulder. I'm just going to keep it there, good girl. And as she moves over, I will softly release on the nose a little bit. And she doesn't like going to the right, she does like, to the left, sorry. She kind of doesn't really see the point. That's a work in progress. But I don't mind work in progress, always a work in progress. And what I can develop this into with her, I'll take a step back. There's just some simple little things that we can do to start increasing our communication, having a bit of respect and understanding for distance, but her feeling safe that she's away from me and allowing me to move her about, okay? Now, obviously, I've done quite a lot with Lexi and she is very laid back, so you know, it's very easy to be able to learn and to do things with her. This is what we want to be able to end up with. So when I've got those basic controls in place, I then start to introduce something like the bag or anything that makes noise, something that would be different to the normal, okay? Now, my horses are kind of used to me doing random stuff, so when they're foals, if they were in, they'd have shaving bale bags put on their backs to play with and all sorts. But this also has got to be connected to my intention, okay? So it isn't about does she accept the bag, it's does this make her have any form of concern? If it doesn't make her have any form of concern, great, then I can move on to something else that does. Because my aim isn't to avoid her getting concerned and worried about things. My aim is to teach her how to stay secure and safe when she does feel insecure with something, okay? So I want to be able to let her investigate it over her head, and I'm going to keep it there. Now she's gone up a little bit, but as soon as she gives me a little blink, I'll bring it away at this moment. If she wasn't sure, if she'd never seen it before, the moment she gives me some form of blink and her ear comes towards me, I will take that away from her so that she starts to realise when I say okay and I say relaxed, it's okay, okay? And she becomes really soft with that. It's also a great way to be able to get to the areas that some horses might not let us touch, under their bellies where they're very sensitive and ticklish, and to be able to go everywhere. Now I see a lot of people working with this and it's like, oh, I'll just do it really slowly. And I'll maybe hide it and they let me touch them with the bag. And the thing is with it is the horse has got to know what your intention is and what you're actually doing. So if you're trying to hide it or sneak up with it, then you're actually going to act like a predator. You're far better to walk in and go, here's the bag, what do you think? Now, if your horse takes flight, then that's when your set of communication's got to come in to bring the horse back down to a calm place and then come back with the bag. Because the aim is, for me, is that I can have anything going on and my horse, even though she's now, you can see she's gone a little bit concerned, but that's okay. I'm going to keep it going until she gives me a sign of relaxing or submission in some way where she says, all right, okay, can you stop, but I'm okay with it. Okay, because she's done a lot of this, but she probably hasn't done any for a couple of weeks. So, you know, this is something we have to keep doing. It isn't about, oh, well, I did it once, my horse had a carrier bag on their ear once, they're fine. This is about always pushing yourself to take your horse to a little bit different level, to always keep increasing the confidence. It's a bit like if you jump regularly, but you get, good girl, and you get a little bit nervous, but you once jumped 120, you're not going to come straight back into a jumping session and go straight down over 120. You're going to start over a pole, a little cross pole, and build up your confidence. So this is just something that you can do to start building up your bonding process with your horse whilst you're sort of stuck indoors right now. Have fun with it, stay safe, avoid suddenly running at your horse with a plastic bag if it's not something they've ever been exposed to. Just take your time to build up slowly, degree by degree, and yeah, give us a shout. Let us know how you're getting on.
Oh, it was so interesting, Matt.
Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it was such a sunny day as well. It was a great time.
Change, doesn't it? It's nice to be in the outdoor arena instead of the indoor.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It was really good.
It was. I hope it made sense to everybody, and if you've got any questions about it, do ping them in. I touched on stuff and tried to really keep stuff very basic because it's important that we take our time to get these steps right. And at the moment, if we're just spending that time reconnecting with our horse, this is something we can really start. And
it's the steps, like you say, it's taking the steps, the baby steps
Absolutely.
that builds up to something. And I guess throughout the shows, you'll go the episodes, you're going to elaborate more and more and show you all more and more.
Well, the aim with all groundwork, the aim is to have that relationship and understanding between you and your horse, and for your horse understanding their body and how to move them. To then the next step from that is to move it into your ridden work, where of course it all makes sense to your horse because you've put in moving their body, moving away from a question asked with a little bit of pressure. And as you'll see as we go on, there'll be bend put in from the nose, the front end. And so when you get on your horse, you've already got those tools that the horse understands. So it is really, really important. And you will always hear people going on about groundwork, groundwork, groundwork. But there's a difference between groundwork that is progressive and actually has a purpose and an understanding to the horse, and groundwork where we're just lunge, 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 lunge with tack on until one day we decide to get on. Because there's a huge, you've got A, B, C, D, E missing, and then off we go, straight into riding. And so this, for me, puts all those building blocks into place, one by the other, and actually you end up a lot further down the line, much quicker with your horse, than if you jump straight to trying to ride or straight to other things like that. So
and such subtle steps that so many people perhaps would miss.
Absolutely.
And wouldn't do, but and I can see it because I've watched this happening with you when you work with the horses. Such subtle steps that make such a massive difference to when you actually get on the horse. That join up, that whole thing about making that connection, whether it comes from the communication, whether it comes from the riding, everything's so vitally important. It all goes in the pot, and that's what creates this wonderful partnership.
It all encapsulates, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll be really excited to see how you get on with Lexi, and I know next week also, I think from what we've talked about, we're going to be working with the beautiful Dora.
I think we will be, yeah.
Which is going to be exciting.
We'll do some little videos of
a different horse completely.
Very different horse.
Belgium draft, so very different to Lexi.
Yeah. And actually, we won't go too much into it, but actually completely different sort of temperament and response that you would expect, because you see a picture of her and you go, "Oh, dope on a rope."
And I've seen some of the footage that you've done for that one, and there's some really wicked moments.
Some interesting moments.
Very, yeah.
But it's all exciting, and it's what I love doing, being able to work with the horses and connect with them to enable them to have a better life being part of the human's world, because they're part of our world. They've had to come in and be part of our world. So therefore it's our duty to make that as pleasant an experience as possible.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, anybody that knows me and Matt knows we're very serious when we get down to business with the horses, either from the communication or the groundwork or the riding, training, behaviour, you name it. We also love our costas.
We love our costas.
We love our costas, but we have none at the moment, and we've been good boys.
We have been very good boys.
And also, I would hope that everybody knows that we also have quite a fun side to us as well.
We do like to have a laugh.
We like to have a laugh.
And take the mickey quite a lot.
Do we? Take the mickey?
Yeah, well, out of each other, and that's
Yeah, you're all taking the mickey out of me.
Thing is, you know,
You see, that's how it comes across. Like, I'm the one I'm the silly one and all of this. But actually, you know, there's so much more to you than meets the eye as well. Matthew Bryan, let me tell you all.
there certainly is.
So we like to jazz it all up with a bit of fun because, come on, we're all in lockdown and it's about having some fun as well. And I know next week's going to be that we have a little slot next week that's going to be very different, something you're not even going to imagine that we would be doing.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to love it. But on a fun but slightly more serious note, this week I got riding again.
You did.
I mean, I have ridden, haven't I, a few times since I had my accident.
You have, and I think today you really, really can show everybody how you've absolutely moved on with the Think Feel Ride programme.
I completely get the Think Feel Ride, and that's what I hope everybody else learns. The Think Feel Ride is such a great mindset, and
I love the programme. Think Feel Ride. I love working with people going through the Think Feel Ride programme, and you have...
And I really took it on board this week.
Oh my God. Do you know what? You have been amazing because...
Thank you.
There's been no excuses.
No.
There's been no... No, I can't say the word.
Well, I had my unconfident moments, but I got there, Matt.
You did. You got there. You didn't make up any excuses. You were absolutely crystal clear about what it was all about.
I got there, and we can all get there.
And so I think...
It just shows everyone that anything's possible.
Absolutely, and I think it's time that we shared some footage of your lesson.
Oh!
Let's take everybody to have a look.
Excuse me, we're actually closed right now.
It's me! It's Richard!
What are you doing?
I've come to ride. I've come to ride.
Okay.
I thought, best day than ever. The sun's out, it's lovely. I've got everything I need. And I've come to ride. Confidence and all that. Well, you're the confidence coach. And I need confidence.
What is that in your hand?
It's my whip.
That's not... You're not going to be needing that. That is the wrong type
I
of
thought
whip.
it was a really good one.
Yeah, it's a lunge whip.
Yeah, but it's just something as a backup, isn't it?
No, you won't be needing that. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Right, well... Got another one!
Right, well, now you've thrown this at me, I guess we better go and find you a horse.
Oh.
We haven't got very many to choose from right now.
Oh, God. Okay, well, let's just see what we've got, Matt.
Let's do it.
I'm feeling really confident today, and I know that you're the guy to give me the confidence.
Awesome.
So, I mean, I'm really worried about a lot of things at the moment going on.
Okay.
Trying to get out of overthinking, you know, because this is serious, isn't it?
This is very serious.
This is serious.
Incredibly
So, where's the horses then?
serious. Right, let's go.
Riding when it's sunny and nice. I think it's so much nicer. I'm not a fair
Fair
weather
weather
rider.
rider.
I don't do riding in rain,
So you-
thunder, claps, the whole lot. What have we got then? Who have we got?
So
Oh, these are beautiful.
you could ride one of these if you like.
Yeah, I mean, she's really lovely. I love
We've got
this.
Millie.
I love this grey, Matt. I love this grey, but it's a lot of cleaning to do, and I just want to ride. And I'm tidy and clean, so I need a horse that looks good with me, because
Okay.
that's what it's about.
Okay, obviously, yeah, matchymatchy.com.
Oh, this is
So,
Lexi. Hey, you Lexi.
What about this one then?
No, I don't want to ride her, Matt. She's really big,
Right.
so that's further to fall off.
Right, we've got down here some ponies that are used to teaching people who are struggling with their confidence. So, here we've got Hercules.
Yeah, they look like they're like really happy in the field at the moment, and they don't feel like, to me, like they really want to come in and be ridden. They look
Right.
kind of happy in the field. I think we'll leave them in the field.
Yeah, we've got a couple more down here. What about Jago here in the field? He's not very big.
He looks like he wants to do some sunbathing.
What about health and safety? Please look where your feet are going, sir.
Well, these are big boots, Matt. You know, I've done my best. It is your wardrobe, as you can see.
I was wondering where you'd got it all from.
Well, I've just done my best that I can do. And it's important to look good.
It's very important to look good, obviously. So, out here then on the left.
Yeah.
Now this horse is a para rider's horse.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's beautiful. This is Womble.
This is Womble.
Yeah. I couldn't disturb him. He's happy eating.
Right.
Oh, Dora. No, she's saying straight away no to me. Can you just see? Look, can you just look at her bottom lip? She's saying no.
She's saying no, is she?
She's looking stressed, and
That's-
I feel nervous.
Okay. Well, I have got a couple more options.
Oh, thank God.
Let's go and see what we can find. Okay. You've left me with very few choices,
But you've got some choices.
but got a lovely safe horse here by the name of Woody.
Oh, brilliant. He sounds lovely.
And I think he might just do
Where
the
is he?
trick just here.
Oh. Not quite what I was thinking of, Matt.
No? You don't,
I'll give it a go.
you don't think he's going to be suitable? Oh, well, so look straight on.
Oh, it's so good to be back in the saddle. You know what, Matt? He
Yeah.
feels a bit too wooden. Boy, good boy. He seems really calm and stands beautifully.
Yeah, he does.
He's really, really nice. I really like him.
Okay, so on you get then. See how you feel on this boy. Okay.
Oh,
Well done. You've
yeah,
got.
I actually feel all right on him,
Yeah.
but I've got no saddle or bridle, Matt.
No. Why do we think that might be?
You couldn't be bothered to go and get a bridle and a saddle,
That's because he's not real, Richard.
isn't he?
Tap him.
Oh yeah, he feels hollow like an Easter egg.
So there you are. What's up?
I can't find a horse that I want to ride. They're either too scary, or they're too wooden, or they're too plastic, or they want to sunbathe, or they just want to eat.
Okay.
It's getting late now, Matt, and it's probably going to rain or something. I just feel
Okay.
like I've just not got the confidence.
We have one more possibility for you.
You've got one more.
Come with me.
You've got one more horse.
Got one more. Come
Okay.
with me.
All right.
So, how does this one feel?
This one feels brilliant. I feel so confident.
Fantastic. You're looking good there, babe.
Thank you, darling. I'm feeling amazing.
Fantastic. I'm glad.
This horse is lovely. So quiet and so responsive.
Fab.
How's my arms?
Yeah, they're looking all right.
Oh,
Oh, a little bit of positivity. Why don't you have a little canter, babe?
I think that he was just a bit scared of something.
Yeah, obviously. It was definitely him, not you. Oh. Hey, look at
Oh
you.
my God, Matt, it feels amazing.
Well, you're looking super confident, babe.
You
What?
really are the rider's confidence coach.
Wow.
Matt, this is amazing. Is this what it's like riding dressage horses?
This is amazing. Nice bit of Passage and Piaffe there. Fabulous.
Good boy, good boy. Good Neddy. Right.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
So, you're looking really confident. You feeling confident?
Let's have a go at jumping.
No. I'm confident, but not that confident.
Really?
He's going to stop at the jump.
Well, let's have a go.
You're going to stop at the jump, aren't you? He says he's going to stop at the jump.
Really?
Yeah.
Funny that. Well, if you're thinking he's going to stop at the jump, that's what he's going to do.
Okay.
So,
But he told me he was going to stop at the jump.
did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what-
what have I got to do?
So what you've got to do is...
Tell him what?
You've got to tell
I'm
us...
the leader.
Yeah, you've got to tell yourself to drop all your thinking, and when your thoughts come in telling you that it's not going to happen, it's all going to go wrong, you can just ask
I think
them...
he's excited because he knows he's going to jump. All right, well, Matt, I'm getting nervous. What shall I do? What shall I do, Matt? Help me. Help me, Matt. You're the confidence coach. Oh,
I think you best just get him down over this jump.
he wants to jump. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to do it. Shall I do it?
Yeah, go on. Be positive. Trust him.
Oh, Matt, it's exciting.
Look where you want to go.
Oh, God, Matt.
Go on, keep going. Where you going, babe?
Oh, Matt, I've had an amazing ride, but I'm absolutely knackered.com.
Oh, all right then.
I'm going to go.
Okay.
I really feel parched. I need a cup of tea.
And some biscuits.
I'll think about that.
You did great, babe.
Did I?
You did, mate. Look at the advanced work you did. You did some fantastic. I mean, I'm going to have to watch myself if I'm going to get out competing again. Your passage was amazing.
The boots were so big. They were your boots. What are they, like size 12s?
11. Yeah, they are quite.
Yeah,
And you
I'm
jumped,
proud of
man.
myself.
You should be really proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You got on a horse you didn't know.
Yeah.
You did all that dressage work.
Yeah.
You didn't freak out.
No.
And you jumped.
Yeah. And my hat fell off.
Your hat fell off, but you know.
Chin strap next time, everyone. Chin strap, very important.
Well, you know.
Well, I've had a great time this
I think
week.
I've had a great time.
Yeah.
And,
We've had a great time.
It's been great fun.
And we hope you've had a great time this week. And I hope there's some bits and pieces here in this episode that you can really take back and put into use with your own horse.
Absolutely, because it's all straightforward and simple and just requires no thinking, just doing.
And sometimes it's fun to take life not too seriously.
Absolutely. Never take life seriously. Never take anything seriously, because that will just wind you up.
And if you're coming from a great place and you feel good about yourselves, believe me, your horse will.
Absolutely.
So, we look forward to seeing you next week. We've got some exciting stuff next week.
Oh.
And until then, stay safe, everybody. Thank you for watching us.
Take care of yourselves.
See you next week.
See you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.